Welcome to Breaking the Chains. This is Bakita. I know it's been a really long time. I have decided I will only do videos that are absolutely necessary, and this is one of those. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me. I am going to allow her to introduce herself, and we'll go from there. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fazayah Rose, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist and healer, and I have been in Ghana about a year and a half.
A year and a half. So what made you move to Ghana? Everybody's moving to Ghana, so what made you move?
Well, I've always wanted to move out of America, for one. I don't particularly think I would have chose Ghana if it wasn't for my child. My child was taken to Ghana and never returned when he was about 3 years old, and he's 12 now. So essentially, that's why I moved to Ghana, because his father wouldn't bring him back. And so I came here to be with my child.
So his father is Ghanaian, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So about a year and a half ago, you moved to Ghana? All right. So how was that? How did you make I know having a child somewhere else, that's a given. It doesn't take much to make a decision to go ahead and move. But what did you do to prepare yourself to move to Ghana?
So for me personally, as aware of the challenges in America and the racism and all that, blase, it was very difficult for me to pack up everything and move. It took me years, actually. I initially decided that I was going to move in about 2014, 2015. But it took me until January 2021 to actually move.
Yeah.
My son was taken in 2013. I realized he wasn't coming back. His father would come back and because he had a green card from our marriage, so he would come back I guess they had to come back like every year to renew it or something, or to make sure that it's current or something. And he wouldn't bring my baby back with him. So I was like, okay, so this is what's happening. I have to move. And I was terrified. I was just absolutely terrified. So I think the first thing, you just got to get over that fear. You got to really, like for me, I made it a goal. I said, okay, moving is so overwhelming. Let me chop it up in little pieces. What's the first thing I got to do to move? Sell everything I have. Second thing, close all my bank accounts, get my finances in order. I really wanted to maintain my my cryptocurrency little thing that I had going on, because I would buy and sell. So I needed to figure out how I could do that in Ghana, because you can't do that in Ghana. You can't invest in Bitcoin or any of that over the apps that I'm used to. So I'm used to Cash App and PayPal and yada yada, and those don't work in Ghana. So and then you just have to cancel all subscriptions. You have to figure out where your mail is going to go, because you need a U.S. mailing address. All that stuff, For me, I told myself, once I get my bachelor's, I'm going to move. Once I get my bachelor's, I'm going to move. So the original date for me to get my bachelor's was in May of 2021, but then COVID hit. So you could take everything online. So I'm like, I am out this hole. I am out. So as soon as they moved all the classes online, I was ghost. I was gone. I sold shit. I sold all my shit so quick. I sold my car. Most of the stuff I gave away, really, because I don't really like selling. It's like, it seems not to be worth it to me.
Yeah.
So I gave a lot of stuff away, sold a lot of stuff, and I was out. And the most challenging thing, you have to have like a support system in the States. Like, you can't make up a support system here in Ghana, because they just don't speak the same language. They don't think the same as you. Like it's very difficult to create a support system coming here. So you have to have like one set up in the States.
Okay. So I know one of the biggest questions people tend to have about moving to anywhere outside of the US is, how am I going to make money? How am I going to support myself? So how do you support yourself?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have an inheritance from a deceased family member. So that's how I was able to move, and that's how I was able to sustain myself. So here in Ghana, you pay rent like up to a year or 2 years. So you pay rent for like the whole year, and you don't have to worry about rent for like the whole year. I would suggest having income, like set up income in the States, because $1 is equivalent to like 7 CDs here.
Right.
So if you make your income in dollars, you come here, you'd be rich as hell, you know?
Yeah.
So, and plus it's super hard to find jobs here in Ghana, like super hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people, they want you to speak Tree, and they want you to, know the culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me personally to assimilate into the Ghanaian culture, because I just a lot of things about the culture I don't respect, like the small talk. It's just a lot of small talk in it.
A lot of small talk. A lot of small talk.
Girl, it is so exhausting, and it's unnecessary to me. Like I'm all about energy. Energy is currency. So like if I'm extending like energy and it's unnecessary to me, I just can't respect it. And then other things, it's about the culture. It's such a formal culture, but it's like British formal. So I don't respect that. You want to be just like your colonizers. I don't respect that. So it's really hard for me to assimilate into Ghanaian culture. It just is.
Yeah. So considering how difficult it's been to even assimilate into the culture, you've been there for over a year now. How are you finding being a single Black woman from abroad living in Ghana?
Okay, so on one hand, this is the safest country in Africa, one of the safest by far for single Black women. I feel completely confident walking the street by myself at night, going places by myself, like solo dolo, completely confident. On another hand, there is a deep-seated hatred for women, especially women who are more like well off, or like perceived to be more well off than the average Ghanaian man. I don't even think a lot of Ghanaian men are aware of that deep-seated hatred. It's misogyny. It's a lot of misogyny that's rampant here. The male patriarchy like system is low-key toxic as hell to Ghanaian women. So high key. Yeah, high key.
Let's go on and call it what it is. So this is what I want you to understand. This is a safe space for you to just say it how it is. It is. This space with me and you.
Yeah. But it's gonna go on YouTube. And it's like Ghanaians, one thing about Ghanaians, they hate
cut that shit off. I cut the comments off. I will block their ass, whatever the case may be. I don't give a fuck. What the goal is that we have to be honest, and in being honest, sometimes it ain't good. Everything out of place is not gonna be great. Just like everything in when I lived in Guinea, I had a really decent experience in Guinea, but everything wasn't great about Guinea. We can't be afraid to talk about the difficulties that we face in making these moves, because as we have to keep it real, the majority of the African Americans or Black Americans who are moving to Ghana specifically are single Black women.
Come on now.
Single Black women have to be able to, I don't know what we need to do, but this is a conversation that we just got to have. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it really like? We have to stop being afraid to be honest.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are afraid to be honest because, for one, the expat culture is toxic positivity. Like, we all positive, blah, blah, blah. And then for two, Ghanaians are very hostile toward self-reflection, like a mirror being put in their face. Like, oh, this is how it is. Like, they're very hostile toward it. And in our culture, this is a formal, not our culture, but Ghanaian culture, it's a very formal culture. So like, it's politeness above authenticity. Right. So like with Black people, it's authenticity first before anything. Politeness, any of that shit. Like, we authentic first. But here it's considered, you're rude, you're a bitch, blah, 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 whatever. But anyway, so here's the real scoop. The real scoop is that
let's get the real scoop.
The Ghanaian men they feel so entitled to you. They will get offended if you don't like talk to them, if you're not romantically interested in them. They feel entitled to all information about you. Like, I've had so many Ghanaian men ask me, do I have a husband? Do I live alone? Like, first of all, that's none of your fucking business. Like, it's weird as hell when they ask me that. And then I get offended and they look at me like I'm the problem. Like, why the fuck are you asking me? You're an Uber driver. You're driving me somewhere. What makes you think that you even have a right? Like, and it seems like they just don't give a fuck if you're interested in them or not. It's like that in the States, but
I was just about to ask. So, to give some kind of context, so here, we have the issue of you might be walking down the street, a dude try to holler at you or whatever, and you like, nah, I'm straight, and he might cut you out. He might get, in some cases, men have actually gotten physically violent with women because they rejected them. Do you find that that's a similar thing?
No, they don't necessarily get violent. Violence I've found to be very rare here. Okay. They don't necessarily get violent. They just get like mad disrespect, like not even disrespectful like in the States. It's a different type of it's like they completely shut down and they just kind of cast you out like, oh, you're a difficult person because you didn't answer any personal questions. Like, I don't know, it's just the audacity. And then like so it's similar in a lot of ways, but it's different here because I don't know how to explain it. It just feels creepy.
I've heard a lot of times that one of the ways that the men tend to punish women is by like ignoring them or
it's the stonewalling. They stonewall you and then just treat you with like such contempt. Like
So lately I've been hearing a lot, and I mean a lot, about single Black women being verbally, financially, physically, and sexually abused there. I've even seen some people, when they were talking about the sexual abuse of it, they were saying like how our women come there and they're behaving in a way, that kind of victim shaming type of shit.
First of all, the average idea of African American women is that we're hypersexual and we're always ready. Like that's just the stereotype of Black women in Ghana. Because we have to understand Ghana.
I think the world feels like that about us.
Really?
I think
Okay. I didn't realize that. That's kind of disgusting. But so about Ghana is a collective culture. So it's very easy for stereotypes to spread like wildfire. Like
right.
here they have a thing with Nigerians. They have almost every Ghanaian you interact with, oh, Nigerians are bad, blah, 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 blah. And it was even hard for me like renting or getting a space because they all thought I was Nigerian. And they was like, oh, we don't rent to Nigerians. Like it's literally blatant prejudice against Nigerians. And it's spread like wildfire. Yeah. So a rumor or an idea can easily spread because this is a collective community and they're very close knit and they kind of all think like one people.
Like group think type of thing.
Group think is rampant here. Group think is so rampant here. That's why almost everybody's a freaking Christian or a Muslim. Like they don't see outside of the box of religion. It's really weird. Everybody assumes that we're super rich and we're super sexual beings. So for me, I've never experienced the sexual assault. I have experienced the verbal assault. I was verbally assaulted like maybe four or five times. And then just last weekend, I was physically assaulted. And it's all by drivers, like boat driver, Uber driver. So they feel like
Wait, so you've been verbally assaulted 4 or 5 times. Yeah. When you say verbally assaulted, what do you mean? Like, can you give me like typically since 4 or 5 times, typically what's happening?
I think it is a technique that they use. They believe that the average woman that they know, Ghanaian women, and I firmly believe that the average Ghanaian woman would fold under this type of pressure. They put pressure on the woman. They raise their voice. They get all like, wow, blah, 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 blah. And they demand more money. I'm not a Ghanaian woman. I'm from Southside Chicago. So I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm not giving you shit else. Like, I gave you what it was said to give. So like a week before I got physically assaulted last weekend, this taxi driver demanded that I pay him even though I never went on a ride with him. We were talking about it and I was like, how much? And he wouldn't say the price. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get in the car with you until you name the price. He was like, well, we'll see. I was like, okay, well, I just walk. And so I started walking away and he comes chasing me, demanding that I give him money because I guess his time. I don't know. But I was like, no, bro, like, I'm not giving you shit. I didn't get in a car. You didn't give me a ride. So why would you assume that I owe you money? Like that you have a right. And I think that they feel like if they put enough pressure on a woman, if they like get physically, or not physically, but verbally like loud, then a woman's gonna fold. Be like, okay, here. Because that's what the average Ghanaian woman would do. I wouldn't do it. He got even more upset because he saw that I'm cussing him out back. And then he starts pushing me. This is not the guy that physically assaulted me. I wouldn't even call this physical assaulting because he was just like literally pushing me. So me being a Chicago woman that I am, I look around for a weapon. I find a weapon and I'm like, what's up? Like, what's up? You wanna box? You wanna put your fucking hands on me? What's up there? So a crowd started gathering. Everybody was like, oh, how much do you owe him? How much do you owe him? And of course, there's a language barrier there. So he's probably telling them whatever. I don't owe him shit. I didn't get in a fucking taxi with him. I don't owe him nothing. So anyway, nobody's like coming in between me and him at all. As soon as I pick up the weapon, everybody starts, getting kind of scared. Like they want to grab the weapon from me. Like, try me. I will fight all of y'all. But anyway, he finally, and he said one thing. He said, you're crazy. Is this how you act in your country? Yup.
Yes.
Yup. This is how I fucking act in my country. And this is how I act here and anywhere. If anybody tries to fucking put their hands on me, what the fuck? So,
yeah.
That was one time. And then literally a week later to the day, I get physically assaulted by a guy who demanded more money. It's a long, long story, but he was being hella disrespectful. I think he was just really envious of me being an American. I'm talking. So anyway, I asked him to pull over because I don't want to finish the ride with him. He wouldn't turn on the radio. I'm like, the radio is way too loud. I'm talking. I can't even hear myself talk. And he pulls over, I give him the money, and then he was like, well, I would have never took the ride if I knew it was gonna be such a short trip, so you owe me more money, because I was expecting this to be so-and-so 62 CDs and it's only 24 CDs. So I'm like, I don't owe you shit. I just gave you what the fuck the ride was. Like the fuck? Like if you wanted to take me to Fort Place, and you should have turned down the radio like I asked you to. It was too fucking loud. It was all in my ear. I couldn't even hear myself talk. So anyway, he chased us and he tried to grab my purse. I was already in another car, in the backseat of another car. He tried to grab my purse and I snatched it away and he just started swinging. So I started swinging and I started kicking and I'm screaming for help. Everybody around is just looking, what happened? How much does she owe? Like kind of like victim blaming, like, oh, she must have did something to get him this upset and all this other bullshit. And yeah, so he stayed around the taxi, circling the taxi, trying to get in a car. The taxi driver, the current taxi driver, he kept trying to open the door for him. Yeah, the guy took off his belt, tried to hit me with the metal part of the belt buckle. Yeah, it was crazy. And nobody around was helping me. Everybody was like, oh, how much did she owe you? They kept coming in the car like, oh man, money is nothing. Just give him some more money. I was like, no, I don't owe him shit. Like the fuck? Like I would, and that's a big difference I find here. Like there's not a strong moral backbone here. It's like, oh, just do anything to keep the peace. Like they kind of pacify the abuser just to keep the peace. Like, no, I will fight and I will raise all types of hell for what's right. It's not right that he's charging me extra because he gave me a halfway ass ride. I got out halfway. I'm not gonna pay him for the full trip. The fuck does that even mean? And so anyway, everybody's trying to come in. Oh, money is nothing. Money is nothing. So they thinking money's nothing to me because I'm a foreigner. They thinking I got all the money in the world. So anyway, he keeps going around. He keeps trying to get in the car. And I'm like, okay, so I need to protect me. So I see this metal like pole thing that the new taxi driver has, that the guy, he tried to pick it up and hit me with it. And then the guy made him put it down. So I picked it up and I got out the car. I was like, what's up? You want to kill me? Because this whole time he said, I'm going to kill you, you dumb bitch, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to figure out where you live at, blah, 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 all this shit. And nobody's helping. So I get out the car. I'm like, okay, so what's up? You want to kill me? Come see about me. Let's see if you can kill me. Let's see if you can fucking kill me. So I start walking toward the guy. The guy runs back to try to get more weapons out of his car. So I start running toward him before he can get a weapon. Next thing you know, the whole crowd want to come hold me back. But not him. I was so fucking just disgusted. Like, I feel so unprotected here as a foreigner. They're gonna take his side, even if it's a man and a woman. And I think because I seemed like I was empowered, then I'm not a victim to them. Like but even when I was in a car crying
to fight back.
Yeah. But even when I was in the car crying, they wasn't really helping. Like they wasn't really helping. Like some people would come and kind of hold them back, like, oh, just calm down. But nobody was like, get the fuck away from her, you know? Stop trying to open up the doors and shit. Like it was just really fucking weird. Eventually the taxi driver, he said, I'm not gonna take you guys. I'm not gonna, you have to get out. And I was like, okay, I'll get out if you tell him to leave, because at this point they took the metal pole away from me, so I don't have any weapons. All I have is my keys in between my fingers. So yeah, it was just really unfortunate. It was really scary. It was crazy, and it made me not trust any Ghanaian, because I see now that they don't have the same moral code as me and what I'm used to, because the moral code is to protect women and children first, no matter what the fuck is happening. I don't give a fuck if a woman is snapping off on a dude. Right. If he hits, so the moment he hits her back, you jump in and be like, nah, don't hit her. Or you hold the woman back, like, no, don't fight, whatever. But like, it's nothing like that. It's like, it's all about money for them. And it's I don't know. Like, honestly, I see Ghanaian people as spiritually bankrupt. Nothing matters to them. They won't get angry about shit except money. They won't get angry about the colonizers coming in, taking all their resources, throwing them pennies while they selling it for millions. They don't get angry about shit except for money. And it seems like they hate women here, like literally despise them. I've run into so many gold digging men who just assume that I got money, so they want to date me and marry me and all this other shit. Like, that's disgusting. You have no moral cold. Like, what the fuck? And then like, girl, I can go on and on. Like, there's no alpha males here. Only beta. They voices
so
sound like.
of, woo, you're going in. Yes. You're single. You're Black, and you're female. You're from the South Side of Chicago. And there's a certain kind of thing that I think we as Black American or African American women kind of look for in dudes, right? So how has considering what you've been experiencing, how has the dating scene been like in Ghana? Like, what's that like?
Yuck. I don't trust none of them to stand up for what's right. That's my most important thing. Integrity. I remember when I was with my ex-husband, this was like over 10 years ago. We were in a restaurant in Minnesota, super racist in Minnesota, by the way. A waiter was being hella racist. And my husband stepped in and was like, oh, to me, calm down. We'll just leave. And I'm like, what the fuck? Stand up for what's right. It doesn't matter about peace, bro. Like, I don't think Ghanaians understand that sometimes we must war. Sometimes we have to yell and get indignant about some shit. Like, peace is not the end all, like, go to. Like, what the fuck? So, in the face of white man, Ghanaian men buckle, they fold, and I can't stand that shit. Like, and even in the face of other Ghanaian men, because it's all about reputation. It's all about what people think of them, and they get teared, they start shaking if there's a crowd, and you know, they don't look favorable or, you know, appropriate, or, you know, like, ew, like that shit is disgusting to me. I don't see a alpha male in sight, bro. I don't see anybody who I can respect. If you want to be like the white man, I can't respect you. I can't respect you.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's funny, but I understand where you're coming from. I'm married to a Ghanaian, and he always tells me, like, you can't compare other people. He's like, I'm a little bit different from my folks. And the more I hear women talk about their experiences with Ghanaian men, the more I realize, like, okay, it's true. Like, this is like kind of an anomaly. And I guess, so, okay, the Ghanaian men they're not your cup of tea. There are African American men there, and Nigerian men, and other kinds of men. Have you been able to?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not even looking for somebody to date, because I'm just so traumatized by the Ghanaian men I've met here. Like, if you never went outside of the country, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna think the same way. You're gonna act the same way as the next Ghanaian man. Like, if you never traveled, you never, like, so like when I would go on dates, it's like I'm dating the same person over. They ask me the same questions. They respond the same. They all believe in the same thing. White Jesus with a pretty little bow on top. Like, like, I think I'm just sick of man right now. Like, I was completely disgusted and traumatized by I think I went on a 6-month spree of just dating. And I was just so disgusted. And then, like, Ghanaian men, they do something when they feel like they're being respectful. They lower their voice and they talk like this. I can't fucking hear you, bro. You want to talk to me on a date, but you're trying to be respectful. I can't fucking hear you. And that shit is disgusting to me. Like, put some bass in your shit. Like, You're African as fuck. Like, why are you talking like a white man? And they purposely try to change their voice to sound like a white man's voice. You know how white men, they don't have a lot of bass in their voice? They change their voice to sound like that from a child. So like, they don't even know where the bass is. Like, it's fucking disgusting. I cannot stand going out with the white man. And when I tell them, I'm like, hey, I can't hear you guys. Can you raise your voice? Oh, I can hear me. Of course he can. And that's another thing, common sense. Common sense is lacking.
Well,
here.
So I gotta have a little, common sense ain't common everywhere. So what's common sense for us here is not necessarily common sense there. And what's common sense,
I was thinking about that.
Not necessarily common sense here. So we got to give some benefit of the doubt.
Nah. It's something in the water, something in the food. I was thinking about that. I was like, well, maybe it's just our type of common sense, blah, 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 blah. Because a lot of things maybe they know that we don't know. I was thinking about that shit. It could be true. But from my experiences, okay, let me give you an example.
An example.
You get in an Uber car. Y'all both sitting there. He's waiting, you're waiting. Oh, please, madam, may I start? Nah, you could just sit here with me in the car because this is what I want. Why would you even ask me that? That's common sense. Of course you can fucking start. Or like, this actually happened the other day. Uber driver calls. He's literally 2 minutes away on the map. 2 minutes away. Yes, madam. How do I get? Where are you located, bro? You got a map. Follow the map. It's okay. You're a driver. That's what drivers do. You follow the fucking map. Like, why are you calling me, wasting my time and energy, asking me where I'm at? You have a map. Follow the map. So when I said that, he's like, oh, well, sometimes the map are inaccurate. I was like, okay, well, you figure it out because you're the driver. I hang up and he gets here in 2.5 minutes because the map is fucking accurate. Like, why are you? Another example, I order Glovo. That's like a food service. Like, they can come and bring food from different restaurants. I order Glovo. I go outside. I hold the money out, waiting for him to give me my food. And he's looking at me confused. He's like, oh, madam, I came here to pick up. I was like, no, you didn't. You came here to bring me my food. He's like, oh, no, I came here to pick up. I was like, sir, check your bag. You have my food in your bag. He checks his bag. Oh, bro. That's a. So anyway, I did some research, and according to Dr. Sabi, the cassava leaves, the way you pound them, it releases cyanide, small levels of cyanide. I'm sorry, they're dumb as a doorknob, and it's so frustrating because you have to micromanage every single aspect of your life here in Ghana because they lack the capacity to. Like laundry, I have to micromanage laundry. I ordered trash service 2 weeks ago. They still haven't picked up my trash service. Even though they know where the fuck I live at, they came and brought the trash bin to me. They just can't take the next step without me getting on them for 2 weeks straight about coming and pick up the trash. The laundry, you own a whole ass laundry shop, but you don't know how to get my clothes back to me. And they're not stealing because I thought they were stealing at first because it's the second laundromat I've went to where my clothes are missing. I thought they was just stealing. They're not stealing. They're just
not connecting.
Yeah. It's like it's real simple to us. Real simple. I don't have to own a laundromat to know how to put the clothes where they're supposed to go.
Right.
But even people who do, they still don't do it. Like, it doesn't connect. You have to micromanage every little tiny aspect of your life here. And people don't talk about that, how dumb fucking Ghanaians are. Like, no one talks about that shit, but they are.
Well, let's not say it like that. But I get it. Let me ask you this. Why do you think people don't want to talk about the difficulties and the challenges with dealing with the local people and society as a whole there?
I think Ghanaians get super offended over any ounce of anything that's misconstrued as being a negative view of them. They're very concerned about their reputation. And it makes sense because their reputation is why so many expats are coming to Ghana. So many famous people are even visiting Ghana. It's because of their reputation, so they're protected. It's like gold to them. I also think that, again, it's such a formal society, such a formal culture, is really important to behave, if that makes any sense. Like, you have to be polite above all else. So it's politeness above authenticity. So for me to be saying all this shit is, you know, I get ostracized, I get demonized and all that stuff, but it's true. The average Black person that comes here, or the average Westerner that comes here, I've talked to Westerners from London, from Canada, they all see it the same way. They talk about Ghanaians worse than I do. A few of my friends, they have businesses here and they have to hire Ghanaians, and they said, oh my God, it's so exhausting because they don't connect the dots. Like, you know that you're here to cook, but I have to come in and show you like exactly what to do every single day. Even though I already showed you yesterday, every single day I have to show you, because they're terrified of making a mistake. So they just stand still until they're told explicitly. And you know, it's just, I don't know, it's frustrating. My son is Ghanaian. He's American technically, but he's, you know, been here since he was 3 years old. I'm worried about his, you know, his future. And I also think it has to do with the education system, because you're not allowed to ask questions of the teacher. You're only supposed to do exactly what she says, and you're not allowed to question it. So how's that really learning? Or like, if you do question it, or if you get it wrong, you get hit.
Yeah.
So fight or flight comes on. When you in fight or flight, it turns off your prefrontal cortex. This is your brain's learning center. Like, this is literally how you jump to conclusions and critical thinking and all that stuff. And this shut down when you're learning in school because you're scared to getting hit. Like,
you know what?
It works.
I have to agree with you there. I've noticed it wasn't only, I noticed the same thing when I was in Guinea. My team, I would have to it took me over a year to get part of people in my team to understand that what I meant when I said, if you see something that needs to be done, just do it and tell me about it. Tell me what happened. Tell me why we needed to do such and such. Like, make a decision without waiting for me to tell you to make a decision. That it took me like a year to train. And that was me being with them every single day, saying the same thing over and over again. Listen, you don't have to wait for me. If you see something that needs to be done, just do it. This is what we're here for. When my daughter was there in school, I remember because of the way she's raised, she doesn't, there were some challenges, because like, I remember one specific point, she came home and they were in RME, or RME is religious and moral education, for those who might not know, but they were in RME and they were talking about the people, and she was like, but you talking like these white people or something. And the teacher was like, they are. She was like, they couldn't. She was like, they couldn't be. She's like 12, 13 years old. She was like, they couldn't possibly be white people. They were born, and she's going into why they couldn't possibly be white people. And he was, of course, he's challenging her because she's challenging his authority. And he take her to the headmistress, and the headmistress had to be like, I mean, she's right. And so, of course, I didn't get a call about it because the girl was right. And she was standing up for herself. Now, mind you, my kid had a big old afro that was like this big. So some days she would just go to school with this big ass afro. And I'll be like, maybe you want to bring it down a couple notches. And she's like, no. She's like, no, I'm going to school with my pro. And it was always like a push and pull because they don't teach the children to ask questions. They teach them to just go with whatever is said to you. You can't question authority. And I think that
and the authority don't be knowing.
Exactly. That clearly they don't be knowing. And I think that's, as I think about so many of us moving into Ghana, I've been really concerned about what kinds of challenges we may begin to encounter, considering we are like bred to stand up for ourselves, and you gotta, lift your voice. And you don't let nobody just walk over you. You don't, like, I know that a lot of times when I'm talking to people there, it's hard to get eye contact. And, that's a big deal in our culture. So I wonder, as we are, so many of us are moving every day, moving to Ghana. I'm starting to wonder, like, what could the culture clash end up looking like for us?
Well, honestly, it doesn't even have to get there. Like, me and this expat woman, her children had she believes that they suffered brain injury from a teacher in school, and then they also had whip marks on their back. So we're actually in the midst of discussing homeschooling options for expat children, because for one, the teaching style is just not conducive to, how we want our children to learn. For two, everywhere you go, if there is a marginalized group of people, they band together and they create their own culture. So we don't have to assimilate. We really don't. All we have to do is come together and create our own little America in Ghana. And everybody else does it. Like, there's a large Chinese community here. They have their own community. There's a Lebanese community. They have their own little community. Like, it's okay. Like, there's Indian community here. Like, it's okay to do that. We're allowed to do that. But for some reason, when it comes to Black people, it's looked at as wrong, or it's looked at as a threat. Like, it's not necessary, because even when Ghanaians come to America, they form their little group. Nigerians, they form their little community. And it's normal for people to do that. So we need to do that. But I feel like we're in such an individualistic society, where we come in, we're all alone. Like, we're by ourselves and we stay by ourselves.
So let me ask you this, because you just made a statement that I know is going to raise the eyebrows. Motherfuckers gonna be like, what the hell? Why you moving to Africa if you want to create a little America in it, or whatever? Now, let me give
there's no white people.
Giving this little caveat. I also agree that it's important to have our own communities where we band together. I think there's power in numbers, and it's important to be around each other and to be able to support each other. I think
absolutely
that is probably the single most important thing for us to do in Ghana. And
absolutely,
we have.
Absolutely.
I think
because we will never be accepted here as. Sorry, we would never be accepted here as Africans. They do not give a fuck about our past. They say slavery happened a long time ago. Get over it. I've heard so many Ghanaians say that. They don't care. We're essentially interacting with a white mentality, a white mind. Absolutely. They have been colonized. This post-colonial area, time is a very painful time for an expat to come in, because they all think like the colonizers we came here to escape. and a lot of times Black people, we have this romanticized view of Africa. We come here and we like, oh, we home. This is not home. This is not home. I came here with that romanticized view. Oh, I'm finally home. I'm finally safe. I'm finally at peace. No, this is not home. This is not home for us. This is a different country and a different culture. And this culture is often hostile toward foreigners. That's just the reality of it. So we have to come here and we have to band together. Like there's no assimilating, because even when you try to assimilate, they're still going to see you as money. That's it. They only see you as money. You know, and they talk shit about you in your face in their language, and you can't understand that language.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of it.
What I would like to, I guess, understand from our own people is, what is it, and like, why can't we seem to understand that there's a way to, I guess, kind of do both? Because at the end of the day, you can't be in somebody's country and not at least partially assimilate. You have to. That's kind of it's kind of like the whole go along to get along type of shit that we have to do here. Mm-hmm. But even with that, we didn't come there. We have our own culture. We have our own
and that
way of being, and some of us
we love and appreciate.
Right, and some of us tend to come there with this idea that we don't have a culture and we don't have. I don't agree with that. I feel like I have a very strong culture, and
everybody's biting off of it. Everybody in the world, even Ghanaian men and women here, they act like us, speak like us.
Exactly. And
but we don't have
even though like with you and I, you're from the south side of Chicago, I'm from South Florida, but I totally get you. I totally get what you're saying. I totally feel you. I understand the pain. I understand where you're coming from. I know that you're not coming from a malicious place. I know that you're coming from a place like, I thought I was coming to the promised land, but it really ain't what I thought it was gonna be. And I think that most people, while I believe moving out of America is the best option, I think we need to be real about what moving out of America looks like and how to maximize our experience in moving out of America. Which is why for me, like, when I'll be coming to Ghana soon, I'm already thinking about, okay, I need to see, it's certain people that I know I have to make contact with who are from my community. Every single time I'm in Ghana, I have to see them. That's my community there. And I think it's important that we, because all of us not gonna get along, because Black people from America are not on a lift, and most of us, there's several sectors of us that's in Ghana right now. So I feel like it's important to find your tribe. Find your tribe. And like my tribe consists of people who, they may not completely think like me, but we on the same thing. We understand things the same way. It's like, okay, my life in Ghana is not perfect, but it is much better than what it is in America. And I'm first of all, let me take my hat off to you for even being able to do this, because I know for sure that being in Ghana is not an easy task. And I was there with a Ghanaian, I'm married to a Ghanaian man, and it's still just not an easy task, because so many,
it's very stressful.
It can be very, very stressful, especially when many times you find yourself in a situation where everybody around you're around a whole bunch of people, but you feel so alone because everybody's speaking another language. You don't know what the hell going on. You kind of like,
they have different types of sense of humor. They have different types of
the sense of humor is totally different from ours.
Yeah.
I've seen, we laugh at, we don't give a fuck. If it's funny, we laugh.
Yeah.
Like this morning, my cousin sent me this video where this young man, he pushed his grandmother out in a wheelchair.
I see that.
Driveway, and he was like, "I'll be right back." And the wheelchair started rolling down the driveway.
Yeah.
And he go running after and I was in tears. I was in tears laughing at that shit. And I showed it to my husband, and he was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, you don't see why this is so funny? Like, you don't see how she hit the grass and then she fell over, and you don't see how he was taking off running so fast trying to catch her, but he couldn't. I'm like, you don't see? And he was like, no. And I've been married to this man for over 10 years now. So, I mean, some of this stuff we're not going to ever jail on. And that's okay. But some kind of way, we're gonna have to find a way to live, live amongst the damn people, and be okay.
And even if so, for me, I see the other expats as my extended family. I don't like everybody in my family, but I'm gonna, patronize their businesses. Like, I'm gonna go and support them any way I'm able to. Like, I can't stand being around some of my family members, but I'm gonna support them. So that's how I see it. Like, we don't have to like each other to be a community. That's how I
totally agree.
Like, I would, like, I've been to a Ghanaian hospital here. Not my thing. I keep saying this over and over jokingly. I would rather die than go to another hospital in Ghana. So, like, we need, like, hospitals. We need, dentists.
We have,
we need, just stuff like that. Like, we need our own little community here. And it's imperative at this point because there's more and more coming every year. Every year is more and more coming. And they're all coming with this dream of Ghana. I remember my homegirls from college came, and their sister was patronizing this Ghanaian guy. The prices he charged them was so out of pocket. And it's so typical of a Ghanaian to overcharge, but they didn't see it because they're like, this is Ghana. These are my brothers, da, 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 da. And it's like, how you gonna pay more for Airbnb in Ghana than you would pay in America? That don't make no sense. But she didn't see it because, this is her brother, and this is Ghana, and this is Africa. And that's just the mentality we have. Like, we're so trusting, and we're so, it's just needed at this point. Like, it's needed for us to form a community.
What has your experience been with the other repatriates from here or from the UK or from Canada? The black repatriate or the black foreigners. What has that experience been like?
They really, like, my bread and butter. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they are the reason why I'm still sane. I remember for the first time I came here, I didn't really get in touch with anybody for maybe 6-7 months. And I just felt so alone. And I think it was probably one of the most depressing times of my life because I felt so like no one got a joke. I can't laugh at a joke because I don't understand the language, and it was just, I think we talked about this, like, where I was just so utterly alone and no one understood what I was going through. I felt like I was going crazy when I noticed, like, the lack of common sense or the slowness in the people. Like, I felt like I was going crazy and I felt guilty for judging Ghanaians and all that. And it wasn't until I ran into other expats and they had the exact same experiences where I felt validated and I felt like, oh my God, I'm sane, I can breathe. Like, so yeah, just the other day, a homegirl came over and she helped me cook a meal and we just chit-chatted and talked about, just regular stuff. And we take that for granted because it's everywhere in the States. We can go to a grocery store and run into some Black woman and we be like, yeah, look, y'all think you should get them pears right there. Da, da, da. It's just like interacting with other human beings is so taken for granted, especially Black people. Like you can be in a store, you can be in a room full of white people and there's one other Black person and you look across the room and y'all know what each other's thinking. Y'all just kind of giggle. Like, yeah, that's rare. And
so
yeah,
it's funny that you even mentioned that because I created my group on the sister repatriation community of Ghana. I created that group because of that exact thing. When I moved to Ghana, my experience was very, very much the same. Even though I moved with my mother, my husband, and I only had 2 children at that time. But I needed my community, and I never realized how much my community meant to me until I didn't have access to my community.
Yeah. And yeah.
It was, like you said, you take it for granted, like how we can look at each other and we can tell by the body language or the eyes, or you might, something like your face. We could have a whole conversation just with our face, and you don't have that same thing there. And I remember one specific time I was at an expat because my first community in Ghana was the expat community. So it was Lebanese, Chinese, Australian, other Europeans, and all of that kind of stuff, which was really, really hard for me because that's not what I came there for. But that was the only time that I could have some sense of somebody understand me. But that's how I met some of the other Black Americans that I am now. I've been longtime friends with, and they're like my sisters. But I was at one of those outings, and I remember sitting at a table and listening to a Ghanaian woman and a Ghanaian man, the way they berated Ghanaians in front of those people. It made me sick on my stomach to the point where, because we have some code of conduct. It's certain conversations we don't have in front of mixed company. And that's just cultural for us. Like, you don't talk shit about other Black people in front, as bad as it might be, you don't talk shit in front of them. That's between us. Like, for instance, I wouldn't, as much as I don't like Candace Owens, I never sit in front of them people and talk shit about that girl. Because even though I don't like her, that's still one of my little people. She is who she is, but that's my people. So I'm saying that to say, like, I feel like it's really important. It's more important for us to find each other and create that little tribe of people so that you can have those times for familiarity, and y'all can sit and eat some food that y'all understand, or you're not looking at me crazy because I'm saying I'm craving a cheeseburger or some shit like that, or I'm craving some collard greens and macaroni and cheese. You get So have you been able to, at this point, create some of this? I know you said you had a girlfriend come over recently. So have you been able to start like meeting some of your people there?
Absolutely. I've met, I have friends from Canada, from the UK, and it's great. Like they react the same way I react, and it makes me feel less alone. Like I went out to eat with my sis from the UK, and she she had a reaction that I would have when I first came here. And I'm talking her through, like, just calm down. It's okay. It's okay. She's like, no, the Ghanaian women, they should know. Well, because we went to a restaurant and the waiters, they didn't know anything about the food. They didn't know anything about it was, no, she should know. I was like, listen, that's just the culture. That's just the culture. Like the women, they're not really, motivated to know things that they're not being told explicitly, like, it's okay. So no, she works here. She should know about the menu. She should be able to tell me. I was like, no, honey, don't expect that here. Please, this is Ghana. Like, just chill out.
Don't expect it. If you find it, be happy. But
be happy. But
don't expect. Don't expect.
So yeah, it just.
So with that being said.
And she spent the whole like half an hour preaching to the girls and then talking to the boss of the girls. I'm like, sis, don't do that. Like, it's okay, just talk. But that was me. When I first came here, I was like, this is the minimum. They should know what they're selling. Like, but
no, you already know that's not gonna happen. But considering you, okay, you're there. You've been there for a year. How do you see your future in Ghana?
Honestly, I see my life here as just like serving time. Like, I'm just waiting till my son turned 18. Like, seriously, I'm not excited to return to America. Like, at this time, I would not even go back to America for a funeral, for a wedding, I don't care. Like, I don't want to go back to America. But once my son turns 18, I'm going back. Like, I cannot stay here. I cannot stay here. I feel like I'm losing like parts of myself. Like, I'm becoming more pessimistic. I'm becoming more, I don't know. I feel like I'm losing like when I first came here, I was heavy on the spiritual practices, like heavy into spirit and healing, self-healing and all that stuff. And I've been sick so many times here. I've just kind of given up like a lot of the practices that I used to practice. And I think it's because I had a community of like-minded people around me. Just energetically, it was easy to keep that up. And I miss that part of myself. I miss that part of us, my culture. Like, I just miss Black people, honestly. So like, I do want to return. When I first came here, I said, I'm never coming back. I'm never going back to the States. But I do want to return to the States because my people are there, So
let me ask you this. Would you be willing to try another country?
I miss my people. That's the thing.
Like communities where people, like because there are large groups of our people moving to different places. Like, there's a little town.
I thought this was the largest group. Mexico?
Yeah, there's a lot of us moving into Mexico. There's a lot of us moving into Cali, Colombia. Then when you look on the east side of Africa, there's Tanzania and
I thought this was the largest group of African Americans.
No, it's definitely by far, I believe it's definitely the largest group. But large don't mean great.
Yeah. I miss the community that I came from, like the artist community. Because like a lot of the expats here, they're not artists, they're business people, they business minded and stuff. I'm not a business minded person. I'm more artistic and spiritual and all that. So I just honestly miss my community. Like, I miss
it's fair
being around other artists. I miss being around people whose main goal in life is to fucking heal from ancestral, intergenerational, and childhood trauma. Like, that's my shit. I hate this money talk. Like, and it's mainly from Ghanaians, but it's a lot of times it's also from expats. Like, they're all about making money here, and I get it. I understand it, and I'm luckily I'm at a place right now where I don't have to worry about money. But even when I wasn't really all about money. Like, that wasn't like my main goal. So I don't know. I just miss my people. I energetically, I feel like I'm really sensitive to energy, and energetically, I really miss my community in Minnesota. The artist community is top tier. We are so blessed and loved and protected by each other, like in Minnesota. in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities more specifically. Like that's what sparked the whole George Floyd worldwide protest. Is us. Absolutely. And I miss us. Like I love us so much. So
I totally understand. So do you have any plans to visit before your son turns 18? Because he got like 5 years.
Yeah, I'm not excited to see white people, man. I'll tell you that much. But like when my time is up here, I do want to, you know, go back for good and just be around my people. But like I miss my people. I would love to visit, but I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't think I've healed from all that happened in 2020. Like I was in the thick of it. And my apartment was maybe a few miles from where he got murdered at. 1 mile from where it was the heavy riots where they burnt down a whole building and everybody got pepper spray and stuff like that. That was pretty traumatizing. So, you know, I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna, you know, do my little healing over here and all that good stuff. But I don't plan on visiting. But you know, at the same time, I do miss them. But
so help people understand how, because I think that happens with a lot of us. Like we have. Because you're at the point in living in Ghana where I was just telling a friend of mine, like you go through a time period where it's like you try to convince yourself that, you know, it's not that bad, or maybe it's just me being an American. Then you go through a really tough period where it's just like, oh my God, I can't stand it. I hate it. You know, and then I know for me, after I went through that portion of it, and I got over that, then I was like, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe it was just a little hypersensitive or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But
I didn't know you can get there because I'm still in it. I hated it.
Oh, baby. Let me tell you. Okay. So there was a point when I was living in Ghana that I was literally, I assaulted somebody. Like,
oh wow.
Oh yeah, a man. Like before I knew, like I kind of like lost it. I like before I knew it, he ran up in my face and I mushed him and he fell and I was ready. Like I was ready to, and that's happened. I love it. It's happened a few times because you know those American instincts kick in and you're like, bitch, don't run up on me. Your ass.
Don't run up on me.
You might beat my ass. You might beat my ass, but you gonna feel me. You gonna feel me. So I had several situations where that was the case. Then I had to tell myself, okay, girl, you're gonna give yourself a damn heart attack. Like you can't.
Yeah, that's how I feel like now. I'm gonna literally give myself a heart attack.
You can't, and once I got to that place, I really had to have a conversation with myself. Like, okay, I weighed my pros and my cons. And as the question that I was getting ready to ask you is, as bad as it feels right now, you still don't feel like I at least need to go to America for a visit.
Two of the lesser evils, like, you know? I step off the airplane. I'm scared I'm gonna get shot in the airport.
That part.
I'm scared I'm gonna get shot by some crazy white person, or just the idea, not even the idea, the vibe of knowing that they don't want you to exist. They don't want you. That feeling is. I just can't handle that shit right now. I can deal with all this other shit. I literally got physically assaulted last week. I can still deal with that shit more so than I can deal with that. Like where the majority of the people in the whole ass country don't want you to exist and they hate you and they're mad at you for existing.
And like that is the point. That is the point that I was wanted you to make, is that as much complaints and as frustrating as it is right now, it's not something that you're willing to be like, okay, I'm going back to America right now.
Yeah, and I got hella complaints. This ain't even all of the complaints.
I know. I know.
I'm at the point where I literally can't stand it here. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But I'm not going back.
And let me tell you, the crazy part about that is that I know exactly how you feel. Because for me, it was a whole different type of thing, because I it happened for me a little faster because I was married to a Ghanaian, so I kind of got thrusted into being in a Ghanaian family and all of, and it was just like, oh, I'm talking about like me having to be in my house, like, this is my motherfucking house. Like it got really bad. But once I laid down certain ground rules, and it was like, hey, this is,
you have to do that.
When you come into this gate, this how it work up in here. Once I got
they don't know boundaries really.
Part down. Once I set certain boundaries, things began to, and then I told myself, like, hey, you will give yourself a heart attack, and these people will still be moving slow. They ain't gonna be in no rush. It's you getting upset is not gonna make them move any faster. It's not gonna make them do anything. So I had to find myself like, okay, I don't want to go back to America. So how do I stay without giving myself a massive heart attack?
A heart attack or a brain aneurysm. Yeah, I've been like yeah. So I know exactly what you talk about.
I had 3 chunks of time, and now when I come to girl, none of that shit bother me now. And I'm preparing things so we can come back as a whole family. It's a bunch of us now. I had all these kids, so it's like it's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I'm saying that to say that it's possible that you'll find yourself in a situation where you might be like, okay, this is Ghana. You hear people say that this is Ghana. Like you, at some point, you just kind of, and like
radical acceptance.
One of my friends, she's been there for like 10 years. And she's like, there's no way I'm willing to give up my lifestyle here in Ghana to go back to struggling in America. She's like, there's no way I'm going to give that up. So whatever boundaries, parameters, whatever I have to do to make this work for me, that's what I'm going to do. So I would encourage you to try to find your way over because that shit ain't gonna change. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. So because the same stuff that you're talking about, my first trip to Ghana was in 2011. I can tell you that I ain't seen no differences. It ain't
no difference, and it won't.
It's just gonna be this way.
Yeah,
it's just like our community here. Like certain places you go here, we know that our people, as much as I love them, we got some folks with their self, they hood ratchet self, and I love me some hood ratchet people, but that mentality a lot of times, too much. So and the same way here we just survive this shit. It's more survivable than this shit. Because baby, I don't even go to the grocery store. I order. I had somebody drop my groceries off. Everything that I need, I had somebody drop it off at the door. Not because I like having it done, but I do it because I don't want to chance going in the store and somebody busting out shooting because they had a bad day or because they just don't like the color of all of the people in this store. I want to thank you so much. I know that having these kinds of conversations is really difficult because for whatever reason, people are very hostile towards the truth. And the truth is, Ghana is not perfect. Nowhere is. Ghana is not what, for whatever reason, people try to make it out to be.
Yeah, that's weird as hell to me.
It's quite weird. And I feel like people are encouraging folks to come to Ghana under false pretenses.
Yeah.
And then people get there and they shocked. Like, oh, wait, I wasn't expecting this. The goal of this conversation for those who will watch, the goal of this conversation is to give you a better understanding of what the challenges may be. Like, this is not a move. You're not moving from Georgia to California.
Come on now.
From New York to Florida. You're literally moving from one continent to another continent.
Yeah.
And then
it's a whole new world.
Country on that continent that is totally different from the society that we come from. And although we have our Black American identity, we have the American culture as a whole. And there's a lot of things here that are really good and that should possibly be implemented in other places. But we can't expect that. We can't expect that because those things also come with some caveats that we don't like. You know what I'm saying? So, is there anything that you could say to a Black female one or a Black woman leaving the West, be it America, Canada, Europe? What would you say to them?
First of all, I would say I love you so much. You don't know how amazing and beautiful your spirit, your essence is. I love you so much. Secondly, reach out as soon as you land. Reach out, because you are going to need people that think like you, act like you, and feel like you. Third, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be at peace, and you deserve to be happy. And things will change. Once you get here, it'll change. Like the situation may not necessarily change, but your perspective, your radical acceptance.
Radically.
And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of feeling, like you hate this place. Because I'm in that stage now, where I just feel like I freaking hate it here. I feel so bad for judging the whole group of people. But like this is a different world. This is a collective community. It's groupthink is rampant. So, you're not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You're not way off by judging a whole group of people like you would be in the States or in the West. If that makes any sense.
And I want to encourage you, before we go, I think you should continue to reach out to our community, the women in our community. There are some really solid sisters from both America and the UK. I am friends with several women there. I've known them for a very long time. People, I will say that people they are becoming more guarded because
Absolutely.
Because of experiences that that they've had with folks from our homes. Because for some reason we are experiencing people becoming very un-Black American, if you know what I mean, or Black Westerner, if that makes sense. Not being on code and not just not. It's like it feels like they want to completely get rid of being from here, which is absolute. I don't get that. I think for me, being in Ghana made me prouder of who I I am. It put a little battery in my back. I absolutely love the place. I absolutely love Ghana. I am one of those people who would encourage folks to make the move, but I also say Ghana is not for everybody. And Africa as a whole is such a big place. Like Ghana is a very small country in a huge ass continent. You might like somewhere else better. Ghana might not be the spot for you.
And they're not as sexist as, like, let's say the man in Tanzania or, you know, other parts of the country.
Yeah.
Like they're not like violently sexist, in my opinion. Like, even though I was just physically attacked. But they're not all like that. Like, it's not like a constant threat of being physically attacked. And plus, you can beat up most of the Ghanaian men. Like, they're so weak. They're so short. Yeah. Like, I was going head to head with this guy. He did not get the best of me. Let's just say that.
He did not get the best. And I think that's a whole other because I told you I swung on somebody, so I mean and that's not good. I'm not promoting violence, people. I'm not promoting violence.
Just self-defense.
But I am promoting self-defense. If a bitch run up on you, you better lay their ass out. And period. Because that's what we taught. I mean,
that's what we taught.
You from Chicago, I'm from Florida. Didn't your mama them tell you if a bitch run up on you, better lay their ass out?
And if you in the right, you almost guaranteed to win. Exactly. Justice is on your side.
Justice is on your side. Because when you were explaining the that you was looking around for a weapon, that's me. I feel you, because that's what I would have been doing. Like, bitch, you are not gonna run up on me. Let me find something to crack your fucking skull with. So you know, I'm happy to know that even with all of the precious inconveniences and challenges of Ghana, that you are still willing to stay there and push through, at least until your son is grown. And I think that is admirable. One, more than anything, you're a Black American mother. We gonna do whatever we gotta do for our kids anyway.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's not all everywhere, because in Ghana
it's not everywhere
with their babies.
That's a whole girl. We can have a whole nother conversation about it.
They leave their babies here in Ghana and go off and travel the world. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see the difference in how we handle so many things versus women that are not from our culture. I'll just say that. But I applaud you. I think you are doing an amazing job by hanging in there, because I know it's not easy. Because if it was hard for me with my entire family with me, it was difficult. So I know that it has to be difficult. But you, my dear, I'm telling you, you are doing the fucking thing, because many people would have taken off by now. Because real talk, the shit get real difficult, and them walls get real tight at times. And I just want you to just keep reaching out to those that you know, keep building that network. It'll get better. I promise you. It's gonna get better. The more you have sisters you can go around the corner and just have a drink with, or you can go on the weekend and you and your boy can go and meet some of the other women who have kids. I'll hopefully I'll be there. I'm hoping. Hopefully I'll be there by the end of the year. I'm not making no promises. I'll be there to visit before then. I'm coming to visit because I got business I got to take care of. And I'm trying to line things up so that I can be there and stay. So I'm trying to get everything lined up here, get everything lined up there, and then I can. Now my big girl is grown, so I don't really have to worry about her anymore. Now I can just. So you know how. Just trying to line it all up. My other kids are all Ghanaian, so packing them up and moving to Ghana is not a big deal. It was a big deal with the other one. Her dad is from here. So I'm looking to move, and once I'm there, I'll definitely be. I'm one that love to have a good cookout, and I love to have a good dinner and all of that kind of stuff.
Game night and all that good stuff.
Yes, honey. Yes, I need to sit down and play some spades, some dominoes or something. Uno, something, shit. But then there's a lot of like other outlets that are opening up from us. So like I saw a place called Jerk Soul.
That's my homie. And you know what's funny is when I got attacked, I don't know if he felt comfortable with me sharing this, but he took on the role as like my big brother, because like he called dude, cussed him out for me. He was so mad about it, and he offered to go to the police station with me. Like he's solid. He's a solid dude. He's from Chicago too. So
yeah. So as we
bomb in Jerk Soul.
So those kind of things, we need that. Need that. And
that made me feel so good, like I was at home,
Yeah, and that kind of thing it's important to us to feel like you have that brother or that sister that got your back, to know that if you pick up the phone and you call somebody, they coming. No matter where they at. Those kinds of things are really important. And but considering that most of us are moving by ourselves, it's stuff that we have to build. And we have to build those relationships. And as adults, it's a little harder to build those relationships than
it is. It is.
But you can build those relationships. I'm not easy to make friends. I'm a Taurus. So I tend to,
Me too.
So the fact that I've been able to make some really lasting friendships there from people that I did not know before I moved there is a testament. To me, it's a testament that anybody could do it, because I don't mess with people. I don't like people.
Me? I'm an empath.
I am too. I have to protect my energy, because I absorb so much, and I've been there and I've been around our people, and there's a lot of folks carrying a lot of bullshit with them, and picking up all of that energy, it was too much for me. So I had to narrow it down to my certain group of people. And so now when I'm in Ghana, I know that I call, it's a good 5 of them. I call and I'm like, hey, we need to have a meetup. And we'll make it happen. Anyway, I just wanted to encourage you to keep building your family, your tribe, and it'll get better. It'll get better.
Thank you. Thank you, Bakita.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I know it's getting late over there. I really appreciate it. I know you haven't been feeling good lately either, so I'm sending you some good vibes, good energy. You gotta Shake that shit off. Shake
it off.
Shake it off. And until next time.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too. And I'm excited for you to come.